So welcome to the second of two lessons for the rational exponents, and the difference here is that we're changing our numerator from 1 or -1 to something other than that. So what we learned in the previous lesson is that the denominator of the fraction becomes the index of the radical. So we learned that this becomes the cube root of 125, and so yesterday it would have looked like, or in the previous lesson it would have been the 1. But now it's a 2. So what this is going to look like, of course, is we're going to take that value and we're going to square it. So 5 squared is 25. Kind of sliding over here. So evaluate, show at least 2 steps now that demonstrate understanding before your final answer. Not too tricky. So we take the 4th root of 16, all in brackets cubed. 2 cubed is 8. And then we take the square root of 25, all in brackets cubed. So 5 cubed is 125. Now, so you can do a couple of things. You can deal with the negative exponent first. And I usually do this one 2 different ways. So I think that's what I'll do here. So we can deal with we can start by, let's say, taking, the cube root of 8 to the power of -2, right? So then we'll be left with 2 to the -2. And our first new exponent law explained what to do with an integer base and a negative exponent. So we go 1 over 2 squared is 1 over 4. And then over here, the other thing you can do is deal with this, right? So we write the reciprocal. Okay, take the cube root of that 1 over 2 squared, and of course end up with 1 over 4. So of course this way, a little bit shorter, right, one less step, but it's entirely up to you which way you want to do it. So there's just a few questions or practice questions here. Evaluate, show at least 2 steps that demonstrate understanding before your final answer, including the step where the fractions change to a common denominator. Oh, I'm thinking we're going to be adding fractions. All right. So square root of, and notice how the 1 over 9 is entirely in the square root. So 1 over 3 to the power of 5, 1 over 243. So this one, we'll take the cube root first, okay, but that only deals with that. Remember, we have to keep it to the power of -2. So 3 to the power of -2 is 1 over 3 squared is 1 over 9. So here now, you can do the exact same thing, right? You can deal with the cube, right, and then flip it. I like to flip it wherever possible. So I would write the reciprocal of the base, drop the negative, make sure not to write the reciprocal. It actually won't work because you're able to take the cube roots of these, but not the 4th roots. So that should be a hint. Then we'll take the cube root of 512 over 27, all to the power of 4. And we have 4,096 over 81. And just a couple more practice questions. So 3 cube root minus 4th root of 16 all cubed. 3 to the power of 4 minus 2 cubed. So we have 81 minus 8, which is 73. And then our last one for practice, this one will be good. And it's just a matter of, right, taking your time, looking at it and trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to do here? So we'll start by taking the 5th root of 243 to the power of -2 plus reciprocal, because I have that -3 over 2. So this is 3 to the -2 plus the square root of 9 over 4 cubed. So we have 1 over 9 plus, so this is going to be 3 over 2 cubed. So 27 over 8. Now I need a common denominator. So I'll multiply both sides by 8 over 8. I get 8 over 72 plus 243 over 72. And a lovely final answer of 251 over 72. Perfect.